Alright, YouTube, this is going to be a strange journey for both of us. And I mean both of us as in both sides of the screen. This is the screen. This is actually my hand, because I'm not crazy. Where am I? But still, this represents the screen, and this is me. And now this is you. Both sides. I don't know why I felt like I had to explain it that much, but, you know. When someone does this, and doesn't really explain what they're talking about, you think, what? Okay. The reason why I was doing which it goes with the explain, is that I can see myself on the screen, and I feel like I want to do a certain motion, but since it's in reverse, I sort of yeah, because I didn't know what was going on with my head, I guess, at that moment. Less than a minute and a half, and I've already done a couple weird things. Sort of strange, weird, strange things. Oddities of myself. So, keys. Phone. From the last video that I made about 5 minutes ago. Less than 5 minutes ago. Penny. Alright. This will be just sort of a, I guess, me doing random things that I do. Okay. One strange thing that I like to do is coins. Look at coins. Look at all these monies. Most of them are pennies. I keep the change for stuff in vending machines, sodas, other random snacks, like some chips, or Starburst, or stuff like that. And I just like keeping coins. There's a few things that I brought over from when I was emptying out sort of Lucky Charms safe that I had from when I was about 10, I'm guessing, at least around 10, or when I was a lot younger. What was that noise? That was a weird noise, but yeah. And I have, I don't know if it's a year, not, I don't see a year on it, but is it New Hampshire? Year on the side? Nope, not a year. No year. So, New Hampshire Transit, Department of Transportation, tokens, New Hampshire. I think they're pretty interesting. I have, I think, one or two more around here. I see one. Yeah, I think that's it. But, yeah, I have a bit of obsessive compulsive disorder, a bit of OCD tendencies. I have some tendencies because, well, last video, I have a mental disorder that's a broad spectrum of autism. It's a very small case, so pretty much otherwise, if I didn't really do anything weird or say anything, it would basically be undetectable to most people. A lot of people would probably just assume something else, like I'm shy or something like that, or just a bit, there's something just a tiny bit off, and it wouldn't be obvious, but it would just be small things. So, Let's see. Other things. Oh, when I drink too fast. Or sometimes I drink, a lot of times, unless I'm actually conscious about it, I actually try. I usually, for some reason, I drink too fast. I mean, like that, I sort of chug things. It's not really an intentional thing, but it's just that I've gotten into a pattern. And when I get into a pattern or habit of things, I just keep doing them until I consciously make the change. And I guess right now, I've been doing it too much. I don't know if I've been doing it too long or if I just relapse back into the habit of doing it. But that's what I do, I guess, for that. And, and there's just a lot of papers. Papers. When things are in a packet like this. This was actually all stapled together. There are times, a lot of times, reason it's easier to read that when it's stapled together than when it's loose. I don't know why, but after I do that, after I read a page, I pull the page out and just sort of put it aside, and the next page, pull that out, and so forth, and so on and so forth. And every once in a while, I bend the pages back, and then rip them out after a while, a few pages, but I try not to take the stapler out because I don't think I have taken the stapler out when I felt like I needed to keep it in, but yeah, backpack. No, but there's a pocket in my backpack that or at least since the first year of college, which was 5 years ago, uh, close to 5.5 now, but about 5.5 years ago. Uh, I've kept a pocket for junk, just garbage, wrappers, and stuff like that. And I would clean it out every once in a while, but there's just, I don't know why, but there's just a pocket there that I just keep junk in. I guess it's sort of to keep organized a little bit. And I'm not saying that I'm completely organized. I am kind of mishmashed organized. I mean, I try to organize things in a way that I can understand and I can get things. But, well, it's gotten better than it's been before, but it's better. It's not the best, but it's still better than it was years ago when I was younger. So, and during middle school and high school, I would either forget things. I can be absent-minded pretty easily and lose things when I'm in a hurry, or other things. Well, pretty much when I'm in a hurry or when I'm thinking about other things, I tend to forget certain things. Forget to bring them, forget to put them somewhere, and I didn't want to forget my locker combination and have to go through that, try to remember it, look through try to find the piece of paper that had it or get it again, and be late for class. So I would stick all of my class, since 7 periods, 7 classes, 7 books, 7 notebooks, I would stick a physical loop. I mean, this right here is casual. They're not something you can touch. Or includes some sort of physical thing, that doesn't make it any easier to stop. Three years of high school, my nerves would make me sick. I would get nervous. I would get excited, nervous, just jittery. My head, my thoughts would just loop and build and build and build and build upon each other and just pretty much overload, emotional overload, and it would get so much emotional, so much, there'd be so much emotion that it would cause a physical reaction. I would become sick. I would become physically sick and nauseous and throw up for half an hour. Half an hour, I would become nervous and just be sick. And I would go home and I would sleep, and a lot of times when I woke up I would feel a bit better, but it was number on speed dial. And that was one time that they did that, but getting sick was a result of what happened during middle school. one or two classes afterward. The time before that, incredibly, incredibly great stuff. A lot of antics, a lot of crazy. No, not crazy, but I mean, a lot of silly stuff happened. I was the typical. Well, I don't know about typical, but I mean, I was very just outgoing. I was shy for in some aspects, but I mean, when you're 2, 3, you can be shy. But I was outspoken, and I could gain friends somewhat easily. But I mean, it was only when I was from 11 to about 17 when things sort of they went off. Just and it wasn't here's good and then dropped bad. It just went gradual. It was a gradual dip. Well, it was a gradual dip down, and then the rise up was pretty sudden. Was it I sort of got a bit depressed, but I wasn't as bad as it could be. I had gotten pretty depressed by the end of 6th grade. 7th grade, I'd gotten a little bit worse. 8th grade, actually, I can't remember doing actually too much 8th grade, but 8th grade, I guess, a little bit up or down. But throughout 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, it was a bit up. It was I had gotten down, but there was like down, but there was like ups and downs after that. But I still wasn't able to get back up to where I was before. And then high school, first year of high school, was sort of I guess I was still at that down period. I was still on the down, and I went a little bit down. Sophomore year of high school was the big, huge, just incredibly, just drop down off the charts. For years, I had sort of repressed the memories of that year, a lot of the memories of that year, so that it just was a blur in my mind. It was a blurred, only a few things that I remembered. And soft, yeah, sophomore year, and then junior year. Uh, Junior year was a little bit better, but it wasn't too much better. It was a bit better. I mean, it was a bit of a relief, but I still had the emotions were still hanging on. And then senior year was when it went from starting. And then first year of college, pretty much more. I got a bit more happy. They felt all feeling pictures or anything like that. I don't know if it's just something that had gone on for years and was an emotional loop that I didn't know, or it was just something that I'm actually not sure right now. Actually, just thinking about it right now, I'm not too sure whether that was something that was biological or is biological, or it was just an emotional loop that had gotten ingrained in my mind and my subconscious and my memory. No, I don't know about memory, but just gotten ingrained into my system, and I had forgotten that it was a loop, forgotten that it was an emotional loop, but it stayed so long that I just thought it was a natural thing. I don't know whether it was so I don't know whether it was actually natural or an emotional loop, but uh, my mind would just and yeah, right now it's sort of at times I find it hard to fall asleep, but my mind would just race and it wouldn't slow down. So I'd be thinking different things, and depending on how long I was stayed up, would it would my state of mind would depend on how long I stayed up. And unless I was doing something, like one time I built a Lego race car. It was pretty interesting. But unless I'm actually doing something, listening to music, doing something that keeps my mind off on that one thing, or able to just keep my mind just, I guess, thinking about the music and just letting the music take over. I My mind would just go to just depressing things. I would just start to go to depress things that would depress me. And the biggest thing until quite recently was the thought of eternity. And that would just get me incredibly depressed. Just I would just feel horrible. I would feel horrible until recently that would happen. But and I'm talking like mm, around less than to around a year ago. So that would happen. And I don't know when it was, but there was one night when I was just thinking, and all of a sudden it just sort of clicked into my head onto what my perception, or I guess like a tangible perception of infinity would be. So I'm not really afraid of it anymore. And mm, I guess there's a lot of stuff. But I mean, I guess I'll leave that for another. For I'll leave other stuff for another video. But you know.